is leading the team. Here are my team members who will be presenting on the various topics that we are going to see today. So the topic we have chosen is on the contaminants. Now let us dive into the topic directly, and we have since 2011 had a journey from 20 to 80. This 20 to 80 represents the page number of the contaminant regulations which you see in the website. When the contaminant regulation was released in the year 2011, it was just a 20-page document. Now it has moved ahead to 80 pages, and you can fairly read what are the contaminants that has been listed, that has been recently added and added during the course of the past 14 years. Now here are certain fascinating numbers which I was researching while I was preparing for this document. Now this is what our Minister of Commerce says when it comes to the export of food business. We are roughly around 3,50,000 crore as on 23-24, and which is bound to increase at least by 10 to 15% the next year or the coming year. And we are in the verge of increasing it to 20% in the next 2 years' time. Now, where are we when it comes to handling contaminants in our nation? Now, this diagram represents one particular contaminant which we are very popular, called as lead poisoning. Now, this data is given by the United Nations and the World Health Organization. Now, roughly around 20% of the overall contaminants in case of metals are happening because of lead poisoning, and these are the multiple routes in which it is traveling. Now let us take an example of a laboratory which we have, or an audit team, or a training division who is going to handle a particular client stake. Starting from the feed, okay, it goes to the cattle, it goes to the food, it goes to the environment, back to the farm, and it is again entering the cycle. Now how do we control? What are the aspects which we have in our country to control all these things? Now let us take one contaminant, namely a mycotoxin, say aflatoxin. The Geneva Conference of United Nations happened in the year 2002, long before many of you were born, I suppose, or few of us are very in the nascent stage of adopting science process. And also it can come from the environment. Say let us take a hotel like Severa. As we enter through the back door, now we have this obnoxious odor in certain hotels which we have felt. We don't know from where it is coming, whether it is coming from the STP sewage treatment plant or because of the non-functioning of the ducts, and we don't know where it is. And of course the same environment is being given in a guard manger or in a butchery for that case. Now these contaminants can multiply, and these contaminants can be added or subtracted. So that is what the equation is. So we never have a proper equation to tell that LHS is equal to RHS. It may increase, it may decrease, but what control are we going to have? So one way forward is what FSSAI is thinking, and many of the global platforms are thinking, is to vertical standards to the horizontal standards. Now let us take, for example, the panel members who are going to discuss. They are going to show you different food groups. And if you see the toxins, it has been different for each food group. May I request my fellow panel members to discuss in detail about all these things which I have said, and may I request the other team members to follow me in assisting me completing this panel. Thank you.
Thank you everyone. My name is Meena. I am heading Zone 3 as manager. I am working with Parikshan for past 6 years. So actually I am going to today discuss about heavy metal toxins. Heavy metals are actually normally available in the air, water and soil, but when it is called as toxic means when it exceeds the permissible levels. Okay, so and when that toxic heavy metals is being intake, it poses health hazard to the human beings. So what are the sources of heavy metals? So heavy metals actually the main sources are from power plants, biomedical waste, industrial effluents, mining, electroplating, e-waste, agriculture activities and volcanic eruptions, etc. So this is a picture which depicts that wherever the pollution from everywhere, like from air, from wastewater, from groundwater, from soil, from smokers, from animal grazing on the land irrigated with contaminated. I'm going to talk about 3 research studies that has been happened for heavy metal heavy metal testing. So first research was done for fruits and vegetables. This research was taken in Solapur district of Solapur area in Maharashtra. So Maharashtra, you know, it is a textile. It is known for textile. So the Central Pollution Control Board says nearly in the states of Gujarat, Maharashtra, and Andhra Pradesh, nearly 80% of industrial waste, including heavy metal pollution in India. It causes these 3 states cause nearly 80% of heavy metal pollution in India. So this research also has happened in Maharashtra. So you can see here the lead and mercury is in higher levels in the vegetables than the fruits. Okay, so this tested. So in the soil, the pH level was less. When the pH level of soil is less, the heavy metal absorption becomes higher. Okay, so also you can see here compared to vegetables, fruits has less heavy metal absorption. This is also because vegetables has higher growth and transpiration rates than the fruits. Okay, so also if the vegetables absorb the heavy metals and transfer it from roots to the leaves. Okay, but fruits absorb heavy metals and store it in other parts like leaves, and not in the edible part. So the vegetables has higher concentration here. And you can see the metal pollution index in the various fruits and vegetables that was tested. Here garlic has higher garlic, after which potato had a higher metal pollution index. Next,
I'm Reshma, and it's a 2-year journey with Parikshan, and I'm here in front of you standing as the operations manager. Thank you. So my part of this panel is going to deal with microbial toxins. So we are all very familiar with what are the types of toxins available. We have bacterial toxin, we have fungal toxin, and we have algal toxin. Not getting into complete detail of what each toxin variety is, we are going to consider 2 most important microbial toxin, which is very common, and which is the occurrence globally is very high. One is Clostridium botulinum, which, as we all know, as a technical team, we are all very much familiar that Clostridium botulinum is very common in canned foods, in processed foods. It is very common. So can you check the graph here? So it is very clearly visible that we have 3 colors. One, botulism is due to foodborne. The other 2 are infant and wound botulism. But we are going to focus only on the foodborne botulism, the blue color graph. So if you consider it has continuously been this is a data until 2021. We are able to see almost more than 300 samples per hour are getting tested, and every sample has a contamination with STEC. Why? It is because STEC is very common in raw milk, it is very common in fresh leafy vegetables, it is common in animal proteins, especially beef. Why? Because all this is coming because of bad hygiene practices, bad handling practices. All these things will come into will be the reason for STEC occurrence in food items. So we have several laboratory techniques, but one technique which is currently used is called Canary technology. Canary is an instrument where biosensors are being used along with filters, and they specifically identify the particular toxin, and they don't help in quantification, but they help qualitatively. So we also have PCR, ELISA and other techniques, but currently this technique is more in use, and it is also affordable.
So these are the common mycotoxins that is present across the world, and these are the concentrated mycotoxins. And one among that is aflatoxin. Of course, everyone might be knowing. So the other one, which has become a recent talk, I would like to quote. Last October 4th, there was an event, Navratri event that was happening in Uttar Pradesh, where 144 people were observed food poisoning after having a buckwheat prasad that is being served in Navratri. So after that, when they tested the product and everything, it was observed that acrotoxin A was the one that was there in the buckwheat. So as far as India as a country is concerned, everything is tested and everything is done only after some incidents have happened. So, but when you export any products to any other country, the first and foremost thing is the toxin testing. This COVID test kit, where there are strips available both in terms of quantitative methods and also for to detect the presence and absence for easy detections. So that is one scope that is available for us to be explored for testing mycotoxins. Thank you so much.
Recently, I will be working with 1.5 years in Unavar and as well as Parikshan. So today, in my part, I am dealing with the checklist part in FSSI. We have a 4 type of checklist, which is catering and manufacturing, and milk processing and meat processing. Deals directly with the contamination process. Even though in water testing reports for IS 10500, the FSSI and the Codex limit, the Codex Alimentary is followed in various globally. The European Union has stated MRL. MRL is a maximum residual limit. MRL has many contaminants, particularly pesticide and heavy metals. For example, the the European Union follows the strict chlorpyrifos in fruits is 0.1 mg per kg, whereas the Codex is permitting around 0.5 mg in kg. So, thank you.